Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to another computer science class. And today we shall be discussing programming languages. My name is Suleiman Fatima. Today's topic outline is as follows: programming language with examples, translator, programming tools, basic programming language. These are what we will be discussing today. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to explain programming language and give examples, list some programming tools, and write a simple basic program. Programming language. What is a programming language? A programming language is a vocabulary and set of grammatical rules for instructing a computer or computing device to perform specific tasks. In essence, a programming language is the language of a computer. The term programming language usually refers to high-level languages such as BASIC, C, C++, COBOL, Java, Fortran, Ada, Pascal, and a host of others. Programming language are like instructions, and before these instructions can be executed, they have to be in computer-specific numerical form known as machine language. That machine language is the one the computer specifically understands. The programming languages mentioned earlier are referred to as high-level languages, that is, Pascal, C++, C, etc. Those are high-level languages, while the machine language is low-level. Before a high-level language can become low-level, it has to undergo a process called translation, and the device and the software that does this is known as a translator. Now let's talk about translator. A programming language translator is the piece of software that converts an instruction written in high-level programming language into a machine language, that is, into a low-level language which the computer can understand and work with. The high-level programming language is similar, or it is very close to human language. That is what we as humans understand. But what the computer understands is the machine or the low-level language. There are three different types of translators. We have a compiler, interpreter, and assembler. This is a diagram that is showing translator and its types. Now let's discuss the types of translators that we have. The first one is a compiler. A compiler is a translator used to convert high-level programming language to low-level programming language. It converts the whole program in one session, saves to memory, and reports error after the conversion. Example is the Microsoft Visual Studio. Another one is the interpreter. Interpreter is a translator that is used to convert high-level programming language into machine language, just like a compiler. But as against the compiler, it converts the program one at a time and reports errors once they are detected. Example is the Lisp. The difference between a compiler and an interpreter is that the compiler takes the whole program at once, does the conversion. It is after the conversion that it reports error, unlike an interpreter that interprets the program line by line and then reports error as soon as they are detected, rather than waiting for the whole translation before reporting errors. The last one is the assembler that translates a low-level language called assembly language. Assembly language is language of the microprocessor and some other programmable devices. It is actually a low-level language, but needs conversion into a machine language. Hence, we need an assembler to translate this low-level language into a lower-level language that the machine understands. Programming tools. A programming tool is any software program or utility that aids programmers in creating, editing, debugging, and or performing any programming task. Before a programmer can carry out programming task, he or she needs some programming tools to aid his process. Different tools are needed for different tasks, yes. However, the choice of tools largely depend on the task that needs to be executed. Some programming tools are listed below. The first one is the flowchart. Flowchart is a pictorial representation of program using geometrical patterns. It actually shows the steps you need from start to end of developing a program, and it uses geometrical patterns like triangle, like oval, and the likes. Algorithm is another programming tool. It is a stepwise logical presentation of program procedures in simple English. It is more like the idea behind the program. When a programmer conceives an idea, it is important to write down this idea in a logical step, and this is written in the normal English language that you and I speak. Another one is the source code editor. It is a programming text editor with various functionalities that enhance code editing. Other type of programming tools are debuggers, graphical interface builder, and so on. All of these are important and they perform different and important tasks. Now let's introduce ourselves to basic programming language. BASIC stands for Beginners All-Purpose Symbolic Instruction Code. It is a computer programming language that was developed in the mid-1960s to provide a way for students to write simple computer programs. Since then, the language has evolved into a more robust and powerful language and can be used to create advanced programs for today's computer systems. BASIC originally used numbers at the beginning of each instruction or line to tell the computer what order to process the instructions. Its major use was to provide a programming language for 8-bit microcomputers in the 70s and 80s, but it has now been superseded by languages. Remember, I mentioned earlier that it has evolved into such as Python, Java, Pascal in a school setting. This is an example of a simple basic program. The name of our program is product. Let m is equal to 2, that is our mass. Our a is 4, which is acceleration. Now we want to calculate the force, which is mass times acceleration, and print it. The program header is what comes first. Then comment is what begins with the exclamation, and program let print end are keywords. Let statement causes the expression to be evaluated, and the print statement displays output on the screen, and the statement ends with end. Now assignment. Define programming language. List and explain 3 types of translators. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next class.